Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I look a hot mess, but that's just the way it is today. I've been running a ton of errands. Anyways, if you guys like to hear someone talk about their pets, I've got cats, rats, dogs, and reptiles. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Today, my husband and I ran around all over basically. I got this great idea that I wanted to try and set up a small planted tank. I have fallen in love with Koi Betta fish, and basically that's what it all boils down to is I want a Koi Betta. So we picked up a few things today, and I figured I would just do a little haul video, show you guys what all I got, and then at the end of it I'll show it to you guys all put together. Basically putting together your tank is fairly simple. There's tons of other videos on it, but I will show you a completed tank at the end. So the first place we went was actually this fish store north of where we live a little bit, and I just had never been there, so we wanted to go see what they had. I was not going to buy any of their aquariums because they were running like over $100 for a little like 1 gallon glass piece, and we weren't going to do that. But I did grab the plants from there because it was really helpful to have someone to talk to about what's easy, because I have no idea what I'm doing here. I've tried planted tanks before in the past. I actually have sworn off Aquatics, and here I am. So if that tells you anything about my plant keeping abilities, it should say something. So at this first fish store we went to, I grabbed my hardscape, which is going to be this little piece right here. I'm not really sure how I'm going to put it in just yet. I think it would be super cool like this. I am going to skip the gluing of the moss on here just because I actually really like that really natural hardscape look that this is going to give. And then in here, I have my plants. I got, if I remember correctly, frog bit. I got wisteria. I got 2 wisterias, 1 anubias, if I said that correctly, and 1 cambonia, if I said that correctly. So those are all of the plants that I got. So this was the first stop we made today, were these. There were 2 tanks I could not pick between, so we actually went to 2 different Petcos. The first Petco we went to, the only thing I grabbed from there was this little foreground plant because I really like the little mossy bottom look. I don't know if this is going to be able to spread without a CO2 system or not, but we're going to try it and see what happens. CO2 systems are way too complicated for me when I don't know what I'm doing already. So then the next Petco we went is actually where originally there was a different tank I was looking at, but this one just had a little bit more. So we went with this one. It is the Aquion, right. It's their little shrimp setup kit. So the substrate that they have in there is actually really good for plants. It's got 7.5 gallons, which is perfect for a betta. And it's got the filter in there and then the tank itself. I believe that that's all that's in there. From what I read, it is just a little shrimp tank, but it's gonna work great for a betta. I probably will throw a snail and some shrimp in there as well, just to help, like by being a cleanup crew. While at Petco, I also got a little heater for the betta. I did just get some of it's like a startup, Safe Start Plus. So basically it's supposed to help add the good bacteria in there and all that stuff. I don't plan on adding any live animals in here just yet. We're gonna wait and give it a few weeks and all that stuff and make sure the parameters get right first. If you ask me, betta koi are not cheap fish. You know, they're not like the $3.99, $4.99 fish that you can get like tropical fish. So I'm gonna make sure the parameters are all correct before we go that route. They do have the plant substrate, but I really like it when you have that more sand look. So I got some black sand that I'm just gonna use as like a top layer, and hopefully the plants will still root to the other substrate, and this will just be a really thin, kind of give it an overall clean look. I may not even add this. It all just depends on if I like the look with the other substrate or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. All right, so we just finished putting it all together. There is some slate holding the wood down right here and tons of bubbles. I probably should have tapped these bubbles off. Actually, I'm gonna clean these bubbles off and then get right back to this. Okay, so I wiped off most of the bubbles on this front screen. I didn't wipe them off on the side, but it is all set and ready to go. We've got the filter running. I did use the black sand. I do regret putting the black sand on. I think it would have been just fine had I left these little round ones that are made for the plant food and stuff like that. But I really wanted this like black look, and I regret going for it highly, because as you can see, there are places to where it just didn't work. It just didn't work. This, now I know why they tell you to let you soak the wood for 24 to 48 hours before putting it in an aquarium. I did rinse it and clean it, but it wants to float away still. So we have these little pieces of slate on there until it settles. This piece of slate is holding this moss down that I could not get to stick. So that's gonna sit there for probably 48 hours, and then I'm gonna see if I can take it off. And then the little stacks of slate, they will probably go in a little pile right here. But yeah, the slate I already had, so that's why it wasn't in the little haul video, part of the video. But here it is. We'll see what happens. There's the Anubis. You can't see what I'm pointing out. There's the Anubis. There's the wisterias all along the sides. I kind of wanted like tall plants along the side and the back, and then just a little mossy front, but that might not happen. We'll see what happens with this. I believe it was called Cambodia, something like that in the back. I've got my heater, I've got a filter. We're gonna let this just run for a few days and see what happens. My frog bit is floating along in this, looks like in this corner. Yep, there it is. Right there on top. Looks good. Here's a little top view. You can see what I mean about those little balls and trying to cover it with sand, but we'll see what happens after it settles in a few days. Hopefully this works. We can only hope. But yeah, so that's that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.